Good morning guys, Layla here at Alexander's in Aberystwyth. If you're here you'll know it's bloody freezing today, so I hope you're having a good Monday and you all like defrosted your cars like we did this morning. This, I'm afraid, is not a giveaway. This is a little video I wanted to share with you guys. I've just had a gentleman in. Now he's renting from another agent at the moment. He signed a contract with them, is just about to move in and just came in for some advice because we kind of know him. His predicament I thought was interesting for if you are a tenant or a landlord or you're involved in property in any way. This might be of interest to you. If you're not, you'll want to switch off now. But this guy signed a contract with another agent, moved in a couple of days ago. Long story short, situation with his girlfriend. He now doesn't want to live at the property anymore and came in and asked my advice. He actually thought that he could just say, here's a month's notice, we're off, sort of thing. It hasn't worked out, we're off. But that's not the case. So I wanted to let you guys know in case you didn't. And I'm guessing that the majority of the general public aren't aware of this stuff, just like I don't know your jobs, whatever they are. If you've signed an assured short-term tenancy agreement, which is the likelihood with any agent around here, an AST it's referred to. An AST has to be for a period of 6 months, but can be up to 3 years. So once you're into that, there's a grey area actually before the contract starts, but we won't get into that because in this instance he had moved in. Once you're into it, there is no get out from either side. So as a tenant, you may not give the landlord notice any more than they can give you notice. So once you're in a fixed term like this guy, your only way out of that, if you like, is that you can ask that the agent or the landlord re-advertise the property, which is what we would do in this instance, re-advertise the property, and when a replacement tenant is found, you are then released from the tenancy. But it's really unlikely you could do that without any financial penalty. The chances are that you would have to pay the rent up until a new tenant is found. Whoever that agent is, you're very likely to have to pay their fees as well. Because you would argue from the landlord's perspective, he hasn't changed anything, he or she hasn't changed anything, they haven't done anything, so why would they be at cost? They have met their portion of the argument. Now, when I said that to this guy, he's a lovely guy, but he said it just feels a bit unfair. And obviously we get from people that doesn't seem fair, that they want to get out of the contract. But my argument always is to that, what if the shoe was on the other foot? What if it was the landlord who'd had it to do with his girlfriend over the weekend and said, actually, I've thought about it. I want the flat back. I want you out. I want the flat back. Well, we all would agree that that wasn't fair, wouldn't we? We all would agree that there's a contract and that if you've both signed it, you are both bound to it. So the worst case scenario, if you want out of your AST, is the landlord doesn't have to let you out, ever. So the worst case scenario is that you pay the rent till the end of that term. But I wouldn't imagine that's really how very many people would behave. I'm sure none of the agents around here would do that. What you do is you re-advertise the property, and when a replacement can be found, the existing tenant can be sort of released, if you like, but that normally costs you some money. Depending on the situation, you can be talking a couple of £100, you can be talking more, because it all depends how long it takes to re-let that property. So I guess I would say, if you're signing an AST with us or with anyone, that's something you really need to be thinking about for this term, whether it's with your mates or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever. For this term that you are signing, you will need to pay the rent. Is this really what I want to do? Because actually, I can't get out of it for the 6 month or the 12 month or whatever. So another thing we often say to people, if they're new to renting or new to living together or whatever, why don't you just take it for 6 months? Because then if it all goes in the pooper, you have only really got that obligation for 6 months. Taking a 12 months sets you up for that long, but I just wanted to sort of be super clear. If you are signing an assured short hold tenancy agreement, an AST, for the avoidance of doubt, consider that you cannot give notice any more than the landlord can give it to you. So the landlord could give it to you if you were in breach of that lease, the same as you could give notice to the landlord if they were in breach of their lease, if they hadn't met their obligations. But assuming you're paying your rent and there's nothing wrong with the house, majorly, you both are set in it. You can't get out. So just have a think about that before you sign ASTs. I hope this guy gets sorted with the other agent today. I'm sure he will. They're nice people. He's a nice guy. But it isn't just a case of, we don't want to live there anymore. It doesn't work that way. So really super duper think about it. And the other thing I would say is, when you're with your agent, you're going to sign a tenancy agreement, have that conversation with them. Say, to be sure, can I get out of this? we had a conversation not so long ago in here, and a guy had said, it doesn't say how much notice I have to give. And we'd said, that's because you can't. There is no give notice. This is a fixed term agreement. So I've probably put everybody in the world off renting now. I don't mean to. The fluidity of the private rented sector is fab. That's what makes it such a good source of accommodation for everyone. But just be aware what you're signing. When you sign it, imagine you're going to have to pay it till the very end. There isn't really a way out. So now I've put you off rentals, I'm going to get back on with my property management job. Hope everyone has a good Monday. Speak to you soon. Bye.